The neck of the figure is not glued, but the two hair strands are, and one of the hair strands came off. Hi and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to FGO Studio. I'm Steven. Today with a figure unboxing and review of this scale figure right here in front of me. This is Alta's 1x7 scale caster class servant Murasaki Shikibu from Fate's Grand Order. She was released late last year, actually 26th of December 2022, so that was about 2-3 months ago. And I decided to wait a bit back then to see whether the price would come down a bit after release, but not really. The price have remained relatively constant over the months. Over the past 2 months, I decided it is time to pick one up because I really liked the lolita gothic design of this character over here. By the way, she goes for like 28,000 yen or so. I got her for like 26, so not really a big discount. But anyway, this isn't a cheap figure by all means. This is a premium figure coming from one of the best figure companies in the anime figure industry, Alta. I did mention unboxing, but the figure is already on my desk because yes, a while ago I did a figure unboxing. So before I talk about this figure in detail, let's check out the unboxing video. The unboxing process, the assembly process was a fairly straightforward one, but the experience wasn't really a good one. I shall elaborate in a moment. Let's go. And that is all about the unboxing and assembly process of this figure. As you could see, not many parts, fairly straightforward, but the assembly process wasn't a pleasant one, gave me a huge scare. Let me explain it now. So the moment I took the figure out of the box, there are two things I noticed. The first one being the head was loose. It wasn't plugged into the main body of the figure properly. So naturally, I assumed that the head is removable. Not to mention there was this huge styrofoam block, this huge foam block behind here. It is meant to prevent paint transfer, in case the paint hasn't dried yet and then they put the figure in the box. So naturally there is one huge block of styrofoam over there to prevent that. So when you see the head of the figure being loose and there is one huge separation material, one huge block of foam in the back of the figure, naturally you will assume the head of the figure to be removable. But that is not the case. So what happened was that I wanted to remove that block of styrofoam by removing the head of the figure. And then I couldn't. So that was when I realized that you are not supposed to remove the head of the figure, because these long strands of hair in front of the figure, it is being glued to the torso over here. Yeah, it's being glued. So somehow the neck of the figure is not glued, but the two hair strands are, and one of the hair strands came off. So I don't know if I have broken something over here. As you can see, there is a hole over here where the hair is supposed to be glued to, but I don't see any pegs underneath the hair strand over there. So I'm kind of reluctant to glue the hair strand back into place. I don't want to put super glue over there and risk damaging the paintwork on the figure, because the paintwork on this figure is perfect. Which is such a shame, because if this hasn't happened, if the head, the neck of the figure is glued permanently to the figure, I wouldn't have even attempted to remove the head of the figure. I would try other ways to remove the foam over there, but I assumed the head is removable just because the head was loose inside the box. So the question I have for Alter over here, is the neck supposed to be glued permanently to the figure but it wasn't due to some oversight during manufacturing? Or it was intentional where the neck pack wasn't glued to the figure because it helps you in removing that styrofoam block from the back of the figure? I seriously have no idea at this point. Both possibilities are there, right? So I was kind of salty about how the hair strand is no longer glued to the torso on the top part of her breast over there, and you can see a hole over there if you really try to look for it. But at the same time, I did not want to risk applying glue and damaging the paintwork, so I will leave it the way it is for now. And that is about the main negative part about this figure. As for the assembly part, you can actually insert the umbrella into the right place without removing the head. So I think my guess over here is that the head is not supposed to be removable. It should be glued. That is what I think personally. So what happened to all those transparent plastic boxes Alter loved giving us over the years? Those were beautiful boxes. To be fair to Alter though, those boxes don't really protect the figure much. And for a figure like this, how fragile the umbrella is, going back to a traditional cardboard box like this is the correct decision. This is not the best looking box in the world, but it is solid, it is hard, and it is very difficult to dent this box. See, this is a tough box. So sometimes practicality is more important than looks, and also made the correct decision over here. This is a good box. Now moving on to the actual figure itself, this thing over here, this figure of Murasaki Shikibu, she is gorgeous, full stop. With the sculpt of this figure, well, Alter is just following the original character design, the official artwork of the character, and boy, they did a great job with this figure. The face expression, everything about the face, she is spot on, looks exactly like the official artwork. This is a 9.5 10 out of 10 faceplate. I just reviewed Canis recently, and now Murasaki Shikibu, both are amazing figures with very accurate faces. So I'm very happy, very pleased as a 5th Grand Order figure collector over here. This figure gets top marks in the sculpt department. Speaking of the sculpt though, her torso, her body, yeah, those boobs, they are kind of unrealistic, the shape and everything. Anime physics at work over here, but nothing can be done over here. They are just being loyal to the original source material for this character. The overall sculpt of this figure, well, if it did not have that glue issue on her hair strand and her neck, this is easily a 10 out of 10. This is a great figure. Nice work from Alter, though I wouldn't expect any less. As for the paint job of this figure, this is the kind of figure where you really need to see it for yourself, in person, that figure right in front of you, in order to be able to appreciate the details, because the color scheme on this figure is very dark. Dark violet, dark blue, black, grey, and so on. In fact, it almost feels like the paint itself is absorbing light. No matter how much light I throw on the figure, yeah, some parts are very dark and very hard to capture the details on camera, even when I'm using a full frame camera over here. The quality is impeccable over there. The decal placement, everything you can think of is very precise. There are no quality control issues at all that are related to paint work. No paint transfer, no paint bleeding, no paint scratches, no paint spots, no dust spots, nothing at all. The quality control on this figure is top notch. Well, almost. I'm going to keep repeating that hair problem over there around her neck because I was so pissed about it. Yeah, that is the only one single issue I faced with this figure. Maybe it is just me being unlucky, I have no idea. But despite that, I am very happy with this figure. I love this figure so much. And lastly, regarding the base, yeah, it was kind of tricky to plug the figure into the base given how, her dress covers her entire leg, her entire foot. And you can't really see where the foot peg is, so you really have to second guess a bit and align it with the foot peg in the base, but it wasn't too difficult. You do get a metal foot peg that is standard nowadays. And as for the base, well, it is fairly ordinary, nothing special. And at this price, yeah, something a bit more unique would have been nicer. Maybe we give us some floor tiles in the church or something, that would have been better, but hey, this is a great figure anyway. At the end of this review, should you buy this 1x7 scale figure of Murasaki Shikibu? From Alter, if you are a fan of FGO and you want a figure of Shikibu, absolutely yes, a must have, right? If you are just an anime figure collector who wants detailed, high quality scale figures, the answer is still a yes. It is worth considering this one, especially when this figure gives off a very unique vibe over there. This dark gothic lolita theme, not very common in anime figure nowadays. The only other gothic lolita figure I can think of immediately is Abigail Williams. Yeah, I have the one by Amakuni as well. But this one stands out a lot more in terms of the gothic lolita theme and vibe. So this figure will really stand out on your collection. You put it on the shelf alongside other figures. Yeah, this one obviously looks very different, and that is always a good thing. Should you be concerned about the neck issue and hair strand problem I had with this copy of Shikibu? Well, in my opinion, not really. You shouldn't be too concerned. In case that the neck is indeed not glued to the figure, it is the same in every copy. Well, you already watched this video, you watched up to this point, you already knew what to expect. So when you buy the figure, yeah, don't repeat the same mistake as I did. Don't go and pull the head out with force, So this is the one thing where I did not understand what was Alter's intention over here. Maybe it is an oversight. Once again, this is just my speculation. So all in all, this is a great figure and a must-have for FGO fans. If you enjoyed this figure review and found it informative, please do consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel for more content like this in the future. Until then, thank you very much for watching and I shall see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.